guys, you want to do some trout fishing?
Yeah!
All right, guys, here we are at the Sugar Grove Trophy Trout Farm. It's a little mom and pop trout farm here in West Virginia. And we're gonna go and try to catch some rainbow trout, and we're gonna cook them up and we're gonna have a good time. Hey, Tommy, you ready?
Yeah!
It is a hot July day. It is about 85 degrees outside and humid. That's terrible trout fishing conditions. Trout are really sensitive to heat. They're a cold water fish. So this is gonna make them lethargic and slow, but getting this crew out the door early enough just wasn't gonna happen. There's a lot of different ways to catch trout. You can use earthworms, salmon eggs, power bait, and every place is a little bit different. Here, they say power bait's the way to go. So I got a little jar of trout bait, little power bait. We're gonna slap some on here. Now you can fish the bottom or you can fish under a bobber. And here there's a lot of weed because it's the middle of the summer. So I'm gonna fish a bobber on my first rig. That'll keep me out of the weeds. And I'm gonna get close to the aerator because when it's hot, the oxygen levels are really low and they'll like to hang out by that aerator. Well, it's the Monday after the 4th of July weekend, so all of these fish here are the survivors, and they're all very gun shy. But we're gonna try to use chumming to get them in a feeding mood. And you get them eating freebies, they get confident that there isn't a hook there, then you put a bait with your hook in the middle of it. We've got a few rainbows right here up on the surface, and a few of them are even willing to rise up to some power bait. Look at that. They're hitting it on the surface. So let's get them excited and get them feeding. And then I'm taking these chum pods and I'm tearing a little hole in them and I'm chucking them right out there. We got these little chum pods that are full of fish food. They, oh, dang it, I missed a strike. They're full of fish food and they dissolve in water and drop little fish pellets. And we're using them to get the fish all excited and then dropping our power bait in there. Look at that. Dig, you got one. Here, you wanna reel them? Reel them in. There we go. Oh, ho, ho. We got one, Jake. You did it.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's a nice rainbow, buddy.
Can I hold him?
You want to hold him? Okay, let me get the hook out of him. Good job, buddy. Why don't you go put him in the bucket? You want to show mommy your fish?
Yeah.
All right, you go show mommy your fish. Oh, there we go. Come, all you.
Okay.
Okay, what a... There we go. Good job, Tom. Now, keep throwing the bait out there to keep them excited.
I barely saw it.
I got one bait rod going and now I'm going to do a fly rod here, and I've got a little black leech with a golden bead on it, and I'm going to see if that works.
Right in there is where it's going.
Oh, look at that. 3 beautiful white koi and a big orange one right over there.
Wait, there's one right there.
All right, I got a little nymph with a little bit of bling on it. We're going to try that out. I've got a couple different rods here, and this one's my carp rod. And I've got a lead on a slider, and then I've got a long leader. It's about 3.5, 4 feet. And then I have a little tiny octopus hook, and I'm gonna put some of this floating trout bait on the octopus hook. And what this will do is it'll sit on the bottom, and then this bait will float up and suspend in the middle of the water column where the trout are swimming at. And I'm gonna go and put it in the bite alarm over there while I fly fish. Can I get any bites? It sets off the alarm. Oh, look at that. Look at this. Look at that. Look at the size of that green sunfish. Congratulations, Nathan. That's a big green sunfish. Here, let's get back in the water. There you go, little green sunfish. Yeah, get him, get him.
Oh, a nice one.
All right. Oh, reel it in, reel it in. All right, we're gonna get him. We'll get him again. I end up switching to a maroon leech with a little bit of split shot. We'll see how that goes. Oh, look at that. Got one. Oh! You got one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got one? Oh. Okay. Oh, that's a nice one. Look, that is a big one. Here, pull him in. Gentle, gentle, gentle. All right. Oh, get him in. Get him in. Woo! Oh, that's the biggest one of the day. That is a nice one, buddy. There you go, Nathan. Good job, man. That's the big trout of the day. Good job, buddy. High five. Keep your rod tip up in the air. Keep your rod tip up in the air. It's a nice one. Here, I'm gonna set the drag a little bit. Okay. Holy mackerel, that's Becca. Gentle, that's not a trout. Reel it in, Tommy. Look what Mom caught. Okay, just play him out. Just play him. He's big.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah. You think a guy this old would know better than to eat the power bait. There we go. Look at that catfish. Congratulations, that's a nice channel cat.
Thank you.
Woo! There you go, buddy. Oh. Tommy, come here. Be gentle. Oh!
Is that the biggest one?
It's huge.
Now I got a second one, yes!
Put your fingers up there as deep as you can. He can't bite you. All of his teeth are right here. Okay, Tom, hold it higher. Put him right there in the bucket. Awesome.
Oh, I lost my...
I'm also going to show you some of my favorite lures. I think a Meps and a Super Duper are just amazing. We're going to try the Super Duper. Really quick, let me show you what rod I'm using. This is the Ugly Stick GX2, and I've got a Fluger President reel on there with some 6-pound line. This is a really good basic trout rod. This rod over here I'm using is a Daiwa Liberty Club Short Swing 2270. It's an imported Japanese surf rod of all things, but I love to use it for carp, catfish, bait fishing of all types. It's really light, sensitive, and portable. But you don't need any of this. You can go down to Walmart and get a $15 rod and reel combo. Just get an ultralight or a light rod and you're gonna be good.
Golden carp. I scared.
Well, we got lightning striking over that mountain, so we need to cut this fishing trip a little short, but hopefully you guys got the point here. We demonstrated a couple different ways to catch trout. We hooked a couple, they got off on the fly rod. We hooked a couple with bobbers and power bait. I used my carp rig to fish off the bottom with floating baits, and that worked really well. And we threw a couple lures and got some hits, but no fish landed. So, you know, 4 different ways of catching trout. And this little stocked pond, I mean, there's lots of different ways to catch stocked fish. I mean, this is not the most challenging place in the world to catch fish, but this is a great way to learn how to fish and to kind of get used to trout fishing. And once you kind of get some techniques that work good for you, then go try it a little more challenging places. There's so much thunder ahead. We gotta get out of here. I gotta be extra careful with the lightning. I'm the tallest thing around usually. Hi. Maybe.
And 16 and a half.
Oh, it looks like you guys tied. You're both 16 and a half.
I just cut them from the bottom to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll stick my fingers in here.
Yeah.
And break this. And I just pull down. And everything comes out.
Look at that.
Then you just rinse it out and it's ready to go.
That, folks, is somebody who don't mess around with fish. He gets it done quick. Just go down there, turn 90 degrees, cut through the ribs. Just hear a little pop, pop, pop. And then flip it around. You come in here and you can get the ribs with your knife.
Oh, I thought it was the salmon and trout.
See, there you go. There's all the ribs come out. Now, if that's a little too finicky for you, they're so easy to pull out once you cook the fillet. You can just get there with a fork and go pick, 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 and they come right out. A lot of people think trout meat should be orange because they're used to looking at salmon meat, but most trout have white meat. It depends on their diet. Salmon's meat turns orange because of all the shrimp and stuff that they eat. You can give dye to trout to make their meat orange, but I think natural is a little bit better. See what a trout's eating? We got pellets and power bait right there. This dude got a big chunk of my power bait. Most farm trout, stock trout, get raised on this stuff. So if you're fishing for stock trout, using these pellets often is really good. It's hard to get them on the hook though, but if you soak them in water a little bit, you can put them on a hair rig, or there's even little fake rubber pellets that look just like this that you can use.
I think it might be ready.
All right, we got some ice and fish in the cooler.
Bye.
See you later, alligator. Well, guys, did you have fun?
Yeah!
Awesome. Well, let's go home and cook up some trout. All right, we're back at the house here, and we are going to cook up that trout, but I'm going to use a recipe that's a little different than our previous trout fishing catch and cook videos. I am going to make cheater smoked trout. Now, when you're smoking fish, there's 3 basic steps. There's brining, drying, and the smoke. The brine and the drying process is what helps preserve it. The smoking simply adds flavor and helps keep flies away during the drying process. So you can actually make smoked fish or preserved fish without any smoke at all, and that's what we're going to do today. For the brine, you need something that's going to kill bacteria, something salty. I'm using soy sauce, okay? And I'm gonna make a homemade teriyaki sauce to brine my fish. Very simple. Take some dark soy sauce, add garlic, add ginger, add sugar to taste, add a little bit of water to tone it down. You boil that all up, and once all the flavors have steeped, set it aside, let it cool. Then you put your fish in it and let it soak in the refrigerator overnight. This will give the fish the flavor and will preserve it. Next, you need to dry it. In Alaska, the natives would dry fish simply by putting them over a rack in a steady breeze. And the breeze would help keep the flies away, just like the same way smoke would. That's what we're gonna do here today. I'm gonna dry my fish outside, and I'm gonna use an electric fan to keep flies off the fish. And if you don't want to use a fan, instead you could cover the fish in some sort of bug net. But the fan also helps it dry out a little bit faster. It's a nice summer day here. It's going to get in the mid 80s. The humidity is not too high, so we should dry the fish pretty quick today. So I am going to borrow the rack from the oven. All right, then we're going to go cut little slits in the meat just to let the air get in there a little bit better. A little bit of plastic on the fan does a good job of keeping the flies away. Well, check this out. If it looks a lot like smoked fish, it's because it's almost exactly the same as smoked fish. It's just not smoked. This stuff will last a long, long time. If you vacuum pack it or freeze it, my guess is it will last months or if not years. If you just leave it on the counter, probably weeks, but I don't know exactly how long this will last, but it will stay together pretty good. You can see it's still got some softness in the thicker parts, but it's pretty darn tough here in the thinner parts that have dehydrated really well. Is it up against the skin? It's still really moist and it's tough on the surface. That sort of uneven drying is really common when you're drying in high heat. If you dry this at like 60 degrees, it'll take many days more, but it'll do it much more even. Not only is this delicious, but it's great camping and survival food. It doesn't require refrigeration. It's packed with protein and calories, and just lasts a very, very long time. And the more water you get out of it, the longer it'll last. Well, I hope you guys like our trout fishing catch and cook video. If you want to see more catch and cook videos, we have an entire playlist of them. Dozens of them, in fact. And don't forget to click subscribe to the Catfish and Carp YouTube channel. We put out new videos every Saturday morning. See you guys next Saturday.